going to be the last video. We're going to finish our painting now. The first things first, we got to put a little kitty cat right there. Now if you don't want the cat there, just skip this part, move on to the next where we put the flowers in. Or if you want something else there, like a little silhouette of a little boy or girl or something, or you know, anything like that, you can do whatever you want with this. But I'm going to put a cat there. Now if you need to sketch that in first, you can get a pencil or a little piece of charcoal and sketch it in first. I'm really not going to worry about it because it's just such a small little thing. It's just a curled up cat. I can probably just pop it in there without sketching it. So I'm just going to do straight black. Small pile of black on the plate. And my same detail brush I've been using, the number 2, it's a camel hair. Synthetic will work fine. I keep saying that. I'm going to get straight into the black. And my cat is going to be laying down. Just kind of curled up on the swing. So we'll put him a little hump of his back there. Fill that in. And a little head here. And I'm not going to do any little paws or anything. If you have a cat or you've spent time around cats, you know how they tend to lay with their feet tucked right underneath them, so it looks like they don't have any feet at all. Whenever my cat does that, I always call her Lieutenant Dan. He ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Okay, let's not forget his little ears. And now, put a little tail coming down from behind the swing. Bring a little tail down and a little curl on it. Now if you've got a fluffy cat and you want to make a real fluffy cat, you can go ahead and make that a nice fluffy tail. Right there, you've got your little cat sitting there on the swing, just chilling, hanging out, enjoying the afternoon. Now, to do our flowers on our trees, I am going to get, I would say a clean palette, but it's actually, if you're like me and you're kind of waste not, want not, I sometimes save my old, not sometimes, often, I usually save my old paint palettes and just reuse them once the paint's dried. I have plates that are this thick with paint. They still work just fine. So you will need, for the cherry blossoms, you will need red and white paint. I'll put some red on here. Let me tell you right now, you'll need more white paint than you do red, so I put an awful lot of red on there that I'm probably not going to need. I'm going to need a new bottle of white here. We'll work with that for right now. And you will need, I'm going to use my chip brush again, hog hair, flat, coarse bristled brush. I got a 1-inch chip brush here. If you have a smaller brush, you can use the smaller brush. But I really like to use the coarse bristled. We've got red and white. What we're going to start with is we're going to make a dark pink first. Real dark pink. And now what we're going to do is we are going to just start tapping in that dark pink. And then you can dip into some white, just straight white, and go over top. See how that adds kind of a highlight and adds some variation there? Now if you want a really dramatic look, you can make a really dark pink or even just almost straight red. Yeah, let's do a real dark one. You can bring that right up. See how nice and dark that is? It's a real dark pink. There's even some almost straight red in there. So you do that. And remember, don't do the whole tree all at once. Do sections and then dip straight into the white. This is just keep going through and doing that. I'm just going to make our way through the whole tree like that. By doing a little section of dark, going through with the white. New section of dark, go through with the white. This is how we're going to complete our tree. Now once you go through here and you've done your whole tree, you may realize that you feel like it's all too much the same color. You can do it again, like go over with a darker pink, and then go through with a more dramatic, dip into the white a little thicker than you did the first time around. Now as you go through the first time, what I would do is do not quite as many flowers. Like don't really jam pack it with flowers, because you can always go back and add more flowers later. What you can't do is just magically take them away once you've put them in. So that is one thing I will advise. I know once you get started, it's really, really tempting to just go buck wild and, man, look at all these flowers. But by the time you get done and you step back and look at it, you may realize that, oops, I covered up everything that I did earlier. It's still nice to see a bit of the branches. So you can still see branches between this. We don't want to cover it up so much that it's all make sure you bring your flowers all the way to the ends of your branches too. Got white paint running all over my hands. Now, if you're feeling super ambitious and have a lot of time on your hands, and you'd rather go through and do individual little flowers, you can do that if you want to. That's entirely up to you, but I prefer quick and easy and efficient. And for me, this is the most efficient way to make nice little flowers. So, there's those guys. Now once this dries, you may go back and realize, you know what, I really want this a little bit lighter. I want some more white on there. Go ahead and do that. You know, go just dip into the straight white and put some white highlights on there. That's cool too. I gotta add a little bit more white to my plate because I don't have any white to work with for our fallen flower petals. You're gonna want to make sure that this is dry before you get too much into this. Mine is mostly dry. I mean, there's a little bit of wet paint, but not terrible. I think we'll be all right. Find out anyhow. All right, and we're gonna do not quite as thick as we had here. I'm just gonna make a lighter pink. I'm just gonna tap some of that gently. And I'm actually gonna brush some of this excess paint off of my brush. I'm gonna tap some of this color right into the grass here at the base of this tree. So it looks like there's just some fallen petals here. And you can even go into some straight white. Add some of that white highlight to it. This adds a little bit of interest to it. A little variation so it's not all one color. There we go. We've got a little kitty cat and our flowers. You can go through, put some more white in there. Why not? Just for the fun of it. But once you've finished your flowers and highlights and grass, you can be done. You can sign your painting and go hang it on your wall. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed this painting. This is kind of a fun and a little bit easier one than some of the other ones, so it's kind of one that's appropriate for adults and younger kids too. So thanks for painting with me today. If you want to continue doing paintings with me, hit that subscribe button and you can keep up with me. Thanks.